Welcome to the Department of Physical and Environmental Sciences instructional videos on health and safety modules. Module 1. Hazardous Materials Transport during Normal Operations. This video will demonstrate how to safely transport hazardous materials within the EV, SW, and SY buildings at University of Toronto, Scarborough. Prior to handling any hazardous materials, please make sure you wear appropriate PPE to ensure your safety during transport. At a minimum, you must wear a lab coat, buttoned all the way down to provide maximum protection, safety glasses, and of course, gloves. Be mindful to check the corresponding safety data sheets to understand the associated hazards and determine any additional cautions you may need to take or PPE you may need for the transport. Next, we need to ensure that we have appropriate means of transport. Secondary containment should always be used when transporting hazardous materials. If a single bottle needs to be transported, then a bottle carrier is the recommended type of secondary container. If transporting more than one hazardous materials, then a cart with lipped surfaces or a tray should be used. Ensure that the size of the tray will contain all of the materials being transported and that the materials are compatible with each other and the tray. If the primary container fails, the secondary container should be able to hold the contents and prevent a spill. Now, you are ready to transport your chemicals. Please make sure you carefully remove the bottles from your workplace and place them into the secondary means of containment. Here, we are demonstrating the transport of flammable materials in a tray, as well as an acid contained in a bottle carrier. All the secondary containers are then placed in a lipped cart for transport out of the lab. Please note that in EV building, you must use the freight elevator only for any and all hazardous materials transport. Once you have arrived at your destination, carefully remove the bottles from the tray and/or the bottle carrier into the appropriate storage cabinets until further use. Depending on your work area, you should avoid transporting hazardous materials through any public spaces. Within the EV building, never transport any hazardous materials through any areas outside of the laboratory spaces, such as the atrium and public hallways. Regardless of the building you're working within, you should never use stairs during transport due to the risk of tripping. And hazardous materials must never be transported outdoors between buildings unless you consult with a member of ChemStores or EHS. Thank you for watching this instructional video on how to safely transport hazardous materials during normal operations.